A consistent comment I get when I talk about cults and how to engage them is, why do we always have to be the bigger person? I'm so tired of having to be the bigger person. And while I understand it to a certain extent, especially if you're in a rage cycle, because your brain is absolutely addicted to the chemicals that rage gives you. It makes you feel a lot less pain. It makes you feel motivated. It makes you feel confident. It makes you feel like you have a purpose. It can make you feel excited. It also shuts down your memory and a lot of your physical processes you need. So it doesn't do you good, but it gives your body this big charge, and then it wears off. And then you want to get back on here again and get rage addicted again. And that is what the billionaires have built this off of. That's why fear mongering and rage baiting makes so much more money than peaceful content or just everyday content. That's the go-to. And they've been able to create wars in countries over it. You get people split down the middle, see different algorithms, they feel outraged, they don't check in with the other side, and then they end up going to war. So what I want to say about being the bigger person, I don't look at it like having to be the bigger person. I want to win. This isn't about being the bigger person. I mean, I do feel like it's important that I use my education, that I use my background, my experiences to teach others, because I have to live in this world with them. Like, regardless if they've shown me a ton of growth or not, like, that's just who I am as a human being. And when I went into that rage, when I let that consume me, it was like I didn't care. I was just out punching. I was just full on punching people. I was just the nastiest. I didn't care. I didn't care what happened to them, their kids, anyone. I was just throwing blows. But those blows came home and landed on me too. They always do. You think you get away with it, but at the very least, you've taxed your nervous system and your cortisol levels and your inflammation levels. Like, you have taxed your body. Even if you feel like, got them, your body's like, yeah, got yourself, right? And then for people like me and others on here who do try and go out and engage, like civilly, and see where people are on the right, when you punch them, that comes back at us, and it makes our job much more difficult. Like, there was recently a video that someone made on here where she's like, I don't care if you starve, I don't care if your kids starve, and these are people in red states, and there's blue cities in these states, but she's just screaming, I don't care, I hope everything happens to you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And they just watch that, but then people try and come and say, no, we don't hate you, we want you to have health care, we want you to have this. Like, yeah, you said you hope my kids die. So, real hard to hear that between the propaganda they get, and then when they see people make videos like that, which are just easily used by everyone as propaganda again, to say like, look, they don't really care. They just want to be able to abort babies or like whatever they want to make up. But we look very hypocritical when we say, we want to help you, we want this, we want this. But if you don't do what we say, then it looks authoritarian, right? It looks like communist authoritarianism. Like, it gets very muddied when you're in the middle of these conversations, and the constant policing of their words and their actions. Like, both sides feel it. Like, the right has pushed away because of that, and people on the left feel scared to speak out because they're going to get harassed. If they don't agree on every little thing, they're going to meet their maker on here, and the right doesn't do that. You can have differing opinions. When I was over there, some people voted Democrat, some voted Republican, but somehow they still got along, and that was okay. But over here, no, it's war, and it keeps a lot of people silent, and it pushes people away. We have lost people because of this attitude. So back about being the bigger person, like, to me, it's simply a strategy. It's a strategy to win, but it's also like, I don't want to leave my future up to other people. Like, I know there's a lot of people like, not my job, I'm not teaching them, I'm not telling them, I'm gonna let other people do that. Who are these other people? Other people that you think are dumb and stupid too? Because I get confused, because the left assigns everyone on the right as stupid, ignorant, morons, knuckle draggers, mouth breathers. I don't even know what all the words are they say, but Nazis, fascists, murderers, pedos, whatever. And you think they can be bigger people? How? They do not have the information that you have. They are in inverted reality. They live in the upside down. So they think what they're doing is good. Most of them. Some of them obviously are white supremacists. But for the most part, that is not the case. So they think they're doing good. They think we're trying to shut down the good that's happening. So that is part of why they act so violently towards us. Plus, they just feel very judged and attacked. And so for me, like, I can't wait on them to be taught by the people inside their group, because they don't have the information either. And it's like people that say, like, well, white men just need to figure it out. I don't have enough years left to wait for that. So if a white man has a conversation with me that's on the other side, I'm going to teach him something. If a man on the left hasn't learned something from a woman, I'm going to teach him. I'm not waiting for him to sign up for therapy. If what I say encourages him to do that, that is fantastic. I've been raped by people on the right. I have had my money stolen by people on the right. I've been beaten up. But for me, I'm not willing to hand that ability to teach and educate to anyone else. That may not be you, but that is me. And if it isn't you, that's fine. Then scroll on. And maybe sometime down the road is. But to come in and go, why should we have to? Because who else is going to? If we say we want to protect the marginalized, if we say that we want to protect minorities, if we say we want to protect the children and give them this specific type of future, but then we're going, not my job, I'm not willing to do X, Y, Z, I'm not willing to branch out, I'm not willing to think differently, I'm not willing to think outside the box, I'm not willing to look at my rage, I'm not willing to look at how I'm looking at everybody as one evil person, then how does that shift? Because I feel like it's like, no, we just want war. We say we don't, but we really want war. And we just want them all removed off the planet. None of which is a good idea or a real reality. So it just feels like in this rage, it just shuts people off from the fact that we need strategy. We need communication. We need connection. We need to do the things that work, that shift things. And that doesn't just extend to the right. That's also people on the outside. There's a reason a lot of people on the outside don't vote. They get near us and think we're lunatics. They think we're screaming parents. Like growing up, the first example I had of Democrats, because I grew up in a cult, were my aunt and uncle. And anytime they talked politics, they were this close to my face screaming as a kid. And then as a young adult, none of their kids became Democrats. They were all conservative Republicans and, probably centrists. But like their feeling of being a Democrat was being in your face and screaming and yelling, and that was a turnoff. And that is just how people are. Like, even if I ever have like a sharper tone, people are like, well, you're shaming us. You're scolding us. Like when I'm talking about rage and stuff. And it's like, well, yeah, and it doesn't feel good. And like, I don't mean to do it, but sometimes like I feel urgency or I'm exhausted. And so sometimes that might happen, but it's like, but why do you think, like when you say that about you, well, how do you think it works over there? It's the same, because that's how human beings are, right? And then people push it even further. It's like, well, even if they're coming out of it, then it's just because it hurt them. And for the most part, that is not true. I do videos all the time of them leaving and why they're leaving. But, I liken it to COVID. Like, I always wear a mask because I had a hellacious experience with COVID. But when I go outside, almost no one wears them no matter where I go. Blue city, red city, almost no masks. And I just have to think they didn't have the kind of experience with COVID I have, because if they did, they'd probably wear a mask. And that's how human beings are. They have to feel and remember that pain to change their way of thinking. We're all the same type people, and we all learn basically the same way. So I hope that even though it's real easy to go to like, well, we shouldn't have to, what kind of world does that offer people? What kind of, walk the talk is that? Because I just feel like it endangers everyone and it punches our own selves in the face. Like, there is no progress. There is just anger and more anger till we've all turned on each other, and it hurts everyone and everything. So why not strategy? Why not trying to win? Why not use all the education and wisdom we've been allowed to have or gained over the years to make the future better?